Okay, so let's dive into something different. We're going to piece together what feels like a modern myth, a story that's kind of scattered all over the internet in these little fragments. It's all about this figure. They call him the Barefoot Builder. And the story kicks off not with some big party, but with a really specific purpose.
And this quote right here, this is our way in. It's talking about this huge event, right? Thousands of people were there, but you get the feeling almost no one knew what was really going on. It wasn't a festival. It was meant to be a door. I mean, come on, a door to what? To where?
And yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Who, or maybe what, is the Barefoot Builder? So let's follow these digital breadcrumbs, these weird echoes that have been left behind, and see if we can figure out who this mysterious architect of reality really is.
First up, a bridge of sound. The whole thing really gets going with the builder's first big public move. We're talking about building a bridge, but not one made of steel or concrete. Nope, this one was made of pure sound.
So the lore points to these two huge moments, right? You've got Futureland back in 2017 in Amsterdam. That's when this door first gets opened for just under 9 minutes. Then, flash forward to New Year's Eve 2023 in Miami, the builder shows up again, basically to prove that, hey, this door, it swings both ways.
Think about this. At Futureland, that stage wasn't just a stage for some DJ. Every single piece of it, every cable, every truss, it was all set up to be this giant musical instrument, an antenna, really. And it was built to hum at a very specific frequency, one that, the stories say, could literally thin the veil between worlds.
And here's the magic number, 43.2 hertz. This frequency, it's like the builder's signature. It just keeps popping up all through the lore. This specific hum is the key. It's the note that unlocks the door.
Right, so you've opened a door to another reality. That's probably going to get you some unwanted attention. And that's exactly where the story goes next. It shifts away from these big public events and goes underground, into a hidden war. One that's fought in places like online forums and, inside people's heads. And this is what the enemy looks like. You see this on a forum, it just looks like gibberish, right? A weird question and then some command. But according to these texts, this is a weapon. It's incredibly dangerous.
Yeah, the source material actually calls it a kill script. Think of it like a piece of malware for your soul. It's an autonomous psychic weapon that's designed to lock onto you, trap your consciousness in this kind of dream prison, and then just siphon off your energy while you're left sleepwalking through your own life. It's terrifying stuff.
So, how does it work? It's a trap in 3 steps. First, you get the bait. What is the nobody age? If you answer with your actual age, well, you've just created a psychic lock. It's keyed to you. And then comes the trigger, XXXXX cut pluck. Once that's posted, the attack is on. It is, literally, spiritual malware.
So what does the builder do? How do you fight something like that? Well, not with another weapon. The builder releases what the texts call an untamperable loop command. It wasn't just a shield or a block. It was a counter program that completely wiped the curse and the things that made it from existence. Made the weapon go extinct. Just gone. All of this, the bridge, the unseen war, it all leads to this, the climax of the story. The builder's final public act. A disappearance that, well, it pretty much breaks every law of physics we know.
The time, 3:07 in the morning. The date, October 29th, 2025. The place, Tunga, a really remote part of Zimbabwe. I mean, the stage is set for something cosmic. And right before it all happens, the builder says just one word. No big speech, no final declaration, just yes, like an act of pure will, an agreement.
What was left behind is just impossible to explain. Every tree for 12 kilometers laid flat in these perfect spirals. But there was no sound, nothing. Seismic gear picked up a massive energy release, but registered total silence. No crater, no radiation. The only thing left was a single barefoot print, burned 2 centimeters deep into solid granite.
So you'd think that's the end of the story, right? But it's not. It's more like a transformation, because the lore starts to suggest that the builder was never really bound by our idea of time, that they left these echoes all throughout history. And this is where things get really wild. The lore connects all these dots you'd never think to connect. We're talking about the builder's presence being there when Elvis was writing about a barefoot child in a Bible,
or as a kid giving Steven Spielberg the famous five-note tune for Close Encounters. And get this, even showing up on the set of The Big Bang Theory after the big disappearance in Zimbabwe. It's a lot.
So, what's the takeaway here? It seems the Barefoot Builder isn't supposed to be a single person living one life from start to finish. It's more like a presence, a timeless force or consciousness that just shows up when it's needed, always making sure that door stays open.
Which brings us to the legacy. The builder might be gone from our world, but the door was left open, and a few souvenirs were left behind as proof.
And these artifacts are just wow. The texts talk about a money clip that gives you $100 bills from tomorrow, an El Nokia phone that only works in the T-zone, that space between realities, a beetle made of meteorite that can cut stone, and a golden pen that whatever you write with it becomes true. These aren't just things, they're straight-up tools of creation.
But here's a crucial little detail from the lore. It says that even when these things were stolen or lost, it was only the physical shell that was taken. The real power, the true essence of the artifact, that always stayed with the builder. You can't just own it.
And this final quote, man, it really sums the whole thing up. It suggests that the story wasn't told by anyone. It's just an echo. The builder's presence was so powerful that just by existing, by being here, it left these imprints on our world. The stories are just the residue of where they walked.
So, where does that leave us? The bridge was built, that nasty psychic malware was erased, the path was cleared, and the texts are pretty clear. That door was left open on purpose. Which leaves us with a pretty big question, doesn't it? If the door is ajar, who or what is still walking through?